Chances are you want to buy a home in San Antonio, Texas, but I'll urge you to watch this video in its entirety before you do so, and I'll tell you why. Welcome back. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Marcus Mays, and I'm a realtor here in San Antonio and the surrounding areas. I just want to thank you for tuning in today. For those of you that are planning on moving to San Antonio or the San Antonio Metroplex within the next 2 to 5 years, even within the next 6 months, please go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel so you can get first glance on everything I drop about San Antonio. So let's get right into buying a new home in San Antonio, Texas. All right, so the first thing that you must understand when buying a new home in San Antonio, Texas is that the sales counselor at that particular builder actually works for the builder. The reason I bring that up is because the sales counselor does not have your best interests at heart as the client, right? Because they're employed by the builder. They're going to have the builder's best interest at heart, right? So you always got to keep that in mind. Also think about they have goals to meet. They have sales goals or quotas that they must meet each and every month. That's why they have sales meetings and things like that. It's sales, right? So their main objective is to get the sale. And at the end of the day, if they don't get the sale, if you don't buy with them, they are not getting paid. And that's the bottom line, right? So you have to keep that in mind. Just remember that and understand that the sales counselor works for the builder no matter how nice they are, how friendly they are, right? Their best interest is the builder's interest, right? Not yours. So you must understand that the sales counselor works for the builder. And that leads me to the second thing I want to talk about. You need representation. What I mean by representation is that you need a realtor to represent you in your transaction. And when building a new home, you don't want to just go into a builder's office or a sales counselor's office without representation, right? That's like throwing a piece of fish in the ocean that's swarming with sharks, right? You don't want to do that because you're not going to be represented. You're not going to know the ins and outs of the business of the business side, right? The sales side. That kind of leads to the third thing that I want to talk about. The reason I say you want representation is because that particular realtor is the expert of that area, right? It's the expert of that particular neighborhood or new subdivision that's coming up. They can run comps, the comparables of other homes that have sold in that particular area so that you're not taken advantage of because, if you walk into that sales office, they can tell you anything, right? And you really don't know if it's true or not. But if you have somebody representing you that has your best interest at heart, they can actually run the comps and really tell you a transparent picture of what you're looking at, right? So they can actually run comps, and also they can actually submit offers. The realtors can submit offers for their clients. So let's say, you come to San Antonio, you're like, hey, Marcus, I'm interested in this particular subdivision. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run the comps in the area first and foremost, right? And now that interest rates are a little bit elevated, right? And a lot of people are being bought out and not having as much buying power as they used to. That's opening up inventory. Therefore, the builders have some inventory that might be sitting, right? And so what you can do is you can actually submit offers, and the builders are actually accepting offers now, which is great for buyers. So what we can do is we can run the comps, see what the comparables are in the area. Then we can actually submit an offer and negotiate on your behalf for a new build home. Now, a lot of people or a lot of realtors that you run into may not, even know that. But that's the thing that really separates experienced realtors from rookie realtors, right? We can actually run the comps, submit offers, and negotiate on your behalf, and it makes it easier now that there's not as many buyers in the market due to the interest rates rising. Now, the fourth thing that I want to go over is your process oversight. So let's say you're interested in a new home, right? And the build time is going to be anywhere from 8 to 12 months, depending on supplies, weather. There's plenty of factors that really affects the time frame it actually takes to build a new home, right? And that process is pretty extensive. There's a lot of steps. There's a lot of inspections. There's tons and tons of paperwork, right? And you're just going to have a lot of weight on your shoulders. And it's especially if this is your first home, right? If this is your first, even second home, it can be, pretty intimidating because the process is so big. At the end of the day, buying a home is probably going to be one of the most expensive purchases that you make in your life. So you definitely want to have that representation because, like I said, those sales counselors has the builder's best interest at heart because that's who they're employed by. That's who they work for. Having a realtor represent you is your personal representation, right? They're going to have your best interest at heart. So during the entire process, they're going to oversee that entire process from start to finish whenever you get those keys, right? And they're going to lead and guide you throughout that process, making sure you're not being taken advantage of, right? And make sure you're not overpaying. Make sure that you understand everything, right? So it's super, super important to have that representation. Now, the fifth thing that I want to go over is that you might be asking me, well, Marcus, how much does all this cost? I understand that I need representation going into the process. It's a big purchase and it might be intimidating, but how much is this representation? And the thing is, representation is absolutely free. Reason being is because as a realtor, we are paid by the builders. We're going to be paid by the new home builders. So there is no extra cost, no extra charge, no extra fees to you as the seller or the buyer, right? So me being a realtor, your realtor, right? I'm going to have your best interest at heart. Meanwhile, the builder is going to be paying me for my services, for being your representation. So it's free of charge to you. So the question is, why wouldn't you have free representation? Making sure that your processes run smoothly, making sure that you understand everything in your process, and making sure that you actually reach the finish line and getting those keys. So let's do a little recap. First things first, you have to understand that the sales counselor or the person in the office is the builder's employee. You have to understand that they have the builder's best interest at heart, not yours. Second thing is, you need representation. You absolutely need representation when going into the buying process of a brand new home, right? Third thing is your representation, which is your realtor, can actually run the comps, submit offers, and negotiate on your behalf. Fourth thing is the process oversight. They're going to oversee the entire process for you. And the fifth thing is that service, that representation is absolutely free to you as the buyer. So again, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you best of luck on your home purchasing endeavors. And if you're interested in purchasing a home in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, please feel free to book a call with me or shoot me a text. The contact information is in the description. And also, please, guys, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel so that you get first glance on everything that I post about San Antonio and the surrounding areas. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next video.